go there. Let me just make sure this is all set up the way it wants to be set up. There we go. I guess you can see pretty well, but you're also seeing my awesome mic at the same time. So let's just move you in a little bit. Oops. Got some canvases in the way. Okay. I think we got that. Okay. Got all my supplies here in front. And you guys can kind of see this here. Hopefully you can't see the very bottom, but honestly, it like kind of starts here anyway, so we're good. All right. So we are continuing to do one of these longer pieces here. Last week I did one like this, and I did finish it last week. I'm not going to show you, however, because it's part of a series that I'm launching later in August. And actually, this will be another one, a part of that series. So if you've seen little snippets of that I've posted on my social media, like every Wednesday, I'm posting a little snapshot, a little section of each painting. Follow me at any of those. You can see those every week until the launch day, when I'm going to launch all of the paintings from the series. So this is just one that I want to do kind of with you. And again, we'll see how far I get with it. I've obviously started it already on my own, but I'm going to just continue and kind of, you can see the process of this one. And then you'll get to see it finished later on. So I'm going to pick up where I left off. Which was this dark gray color. I do have a reference photo, again, from an awesome sibling. Let's see if I can bring this in just a little bit. Sure, do that. Okay, that works. Okay, so I'm going to make a gray color here. Oh, my brush is kind of gross. There we go. Okay. Oh, I do need my handy dandy white. It's not going to be perfect dark gray. It's going to be kind of a more on the white side, or lighter. It's lighter. It's not like going to be super dark. Sections of it are kind of dark, but let's see if we can make this color again. Oh, I was using this medium that I think I used last week with you guys. Clear drying acrylic medium, thick. It helps it kind of just to, sorry, I can't like paint and talk at the same time, so live streams are kind of difficult because that's sort of the point. Okay, there we go. But it's a thick, kind of gluey, pasty stuff. And so then I take a glob of that, stick it with my paint. I think I've noticed that it helps, it like dries faster with it, which I thought I bought the slow drying. It might not even have a specific dry time to it necessarily, but some mediums you can buy with acrylic are slow drying. so it helps it to stay wet longer. Okay, so on my palette here, I've got my medium, and I'm going to put a bunch of purple in there and a bunch of black. Just mix it around real good. It's hard to know if that's the color I was using, but we're going to try it. So then up in here, let's see, we got this cloud. Wait, is that right? I figure out where I'm at here because, okay. So this is the big guy. This has a little bit darker sections in it here on that edge. Actually, while I'm at it, let me just do that in spots where I am seeing that color, that value. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is pretty dark in here, and I'm to capture the texture. I'm sort of pushing my brush like against the bristles, which normally you wouldn't do that, but that's what I'm doing. Let's see, then this goes, once you sort of stepped away and come back, it's hard to know like where you stopped. Okay, there we go. Got a better sense of where things are. So this is here. That's pretty dark, so who knows if that's going to be dark enough. There's going to be lots of surrounding colors, so it's not going to be like has to be crazy or anything. Okay, I'm going to have this go around like that. And I am painting my edges really religiously on these paintings because I want the edges to like, continue the painting. When you look at a thick painting from the side, it's like, oh no, I was going to show you, but it's attached. But you get a little bit more perspective. You see the whole painting when you see kind of the side of it. So I'm going to add a little bit more black to this gray, go a little bit deeper. Because it gets pretty dark. This is pretty dark. This section is pretty dark. Again, I started with sort of a bright underpainting, and I'm going to let that kind of peek through every once in a while. We're going to go up to the top here and extend what I just put there along the top edge. Let's see. Okay, continue this way, but then it kind of stops along here. And then it kind of comes down. This is a little bit lighter. Oops. Add a little bit of white to that gray. And we're going to put that. That's that opening. It's going to be like right in here. It's a little too light. There we go. Now we're going to put that in kind of around the edge more here. And this comes down technically. To like here. But we're going to improvise a little bit because we can do what we want. And put that. Just making more of that gray, tad lighter. Putting that down in here. And that's going to come kind of around this side, I guess. That works. And then that, I'm just going to have it come up the side here. Da-da-da-da. Now let's see if there's any spots I can go darker. Because I want these to be kind of done before I move on. I feel like this should go a little bit further up and over. So this space isn't quite so long. Okay. Now the color, the values are getting a little bit lighter as they come down in here, but there's maybe hints of dark. This could be a little bit darker. I have to think a little bit about color interaction though, because once I put the other colors in here, this is going to look pretty dark. So there's some lighter sections like in here. And while it's wet, you want to take advantage of some of that now versus later. But I'm just like the way I'm holding and using my brush to get as much randomness as possible. It's probably not great for my brush, but it's really what needs to happen to keep it irregular. Because we get kind of stuck in our heads that there's that these have to look a certain way and have to be repetitive and stuff like that, but they don't. I want to keep a little randomness going on. This, oh yeah, this can have a little bit more volume. That kind of is flat, dark. Let's see if there's a little bit more, probably along this edge. Yeah, kind of like that. I'm liking it. And this kind of same thing. Oops, it's drying out. It's drying out on me. I think my filming lights here speed up that process. It's kind of irritating, the drying process. Okay, I'm liking that. You want to stop there. I don't want to overthink it because I'm trying to keep it impressionistic. Okay, it doesn't look like much. We are going to go in now with, I think I want to do this, the background color next. Yeah. So I use the same brush because that's what I tend to do. Take these ones out of there so I can have room. And with this, I need to make sort of a fairly dark blue-green, kind of a blue. Ah, man. Okay, so we're doing an ultramarine blue, so very sky blue, if you mixed it with white. And then a phthalo blue, blue-green. And, you know, we might need to put in a little yellow. Put yellow off to the side. We're going to need black. I got black. Let's try that. So this color, and this color. And this color. Let's just, you got to start somewhere. I always ask myself, wait, what's the hue? So hue just means, it's another word for color, but it kind of refers to the color family of a color. So obviously, you know, I'm going to tell you the sky is sort of a blue-green. And so I want to start with that. Then I decide, okay, does it need to go lighter? Yes, a little bit lighter. Does it need to go duller? Yes, it's too bright. I might have to go in with, when you're mixing like blues and reds or greens that need to be darker, use a little red as a complement because that neutralizes it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but this blue right here is pretty bright, but as soon as I add red, it makes it more gray. We're trying to assess and see if that's too blue. A little bit black, a little bit more red, I think, maybe a little more yellow. It's like close. Yeah, that might be it. It almost needs to be maybe a little white. It's maybe a little too dark. just slightly. And then that, when you lighten it, sometimes that brings out the color a little bit more. So I need to dull it down. Okay, I think I'm going to stick with that. Okay, hopefully that's enough paint. Oh, I didn't put any of this in. This will help increase the volume of paint, because we're going to need a lot of this. This is when, because I've got the main shapes in there, and when I do this background color, this is where I want to leave some of the pink on the edges. So let's see if that's the right, yeah, that's the right color. Boom. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of in around these shapes now, come in with this color and just fill that color in to all the negative, because remember, the kind of like I said last week, the background underpainting bright color doesn't really stick around. I cover most of it, but it's an opposite color to what colors are going to be in the painting. And so there's a lot of cool darks in this particular painting. And so I went with a very pink, warm background, which will kind of peek through in spots. Now, as I come down, that color needs to lighten. So, I make sure I'm painting that edge of them. I'm gonna forget that. But as I come down, I want to add white to this paint. White and possibly like some yellow. So let's start with white, because we just want to create a very subtle gradient. Yeah. And really, I'm not going to really look at my picture for this part, but anywhere that I've got big chunks of pink, I'm just going to put that blue in there, because I know that it's just the spaces between. Okay, a little bit of white. Okay, I'm kind of keeping it clumpy, keeping it irregular. Let's add a little bit more white. Let me come down. It changes pretty fast. Not too fast, but I'm just kind of using what's on my brush, mixing with the white. Isn't that pretty though as it comes down? Oof. It's kind of like a teal color. Check the edges. Make sure I come down far enough. Oh, look at that. I kind of left it. Okay. Go a little bit lighter. I might start adding in just a touch of yellow. Ooh, too much. Too much. So it looks a little bit more. Sometimes you try something that you think is going to work, and then it's like, nah. Oh, the yellow was right. But that looks right. And that's a little bit lighter, so we're going to plop that in. And you want to mix it with the color that's above it while it's wet, because that's the idea. So you're letting this gradient happen. In order for that to happen, I'm not doing perfectly smooth gradient. I'm just blending it enough with the top layer, but I still want brush strokey patterns and things happening. So I'm having so much fun though with this series. It's been a blast. And I will definitely be announcing when the launch is going to happen, when I'm going to reveal all of the paintings in the series. Super excited about it. I want you to get excited about it too. So I'm going to slowly just announce it and give you guys peeks at the progress and stuff. Okay, we're going to come in here and add a little bit more. Is that getting too light too fast? Maybe. So add a little bit more of the dark. Thing with doing another layer, you have to make sure that that goes all the way across, and then you don't take that same color and go up higher with it, because it's the wrong color for up higher. It needs to be darker if it goes up higher. Sometimes I do that on accident. I'm like, oh, there's a spot up here I missed, and then you put it in there, you're like, ah, crap, it's too light. So you have to remember what color you're using. Okay, I'm gonna get lighter now. My paint's getting kind of tacky. A little bit of water to fix that. The water makes it thinner though, so you have to kind of make sure that it keeps its thickness for covering what's underneath it. Got some little gray spots there. Thanks for watching, by the way. Oh, it's kind of a slightly different color, but okay, gotta keep going lighter. I feel like I need to add red as I go down because it's getting too sort of blue. Oh yeah, that's what I want right there. Is that lighter? Barely. More of that. It's just like a touch of red to neutralize it, because it kind of gets, it's not really green all the way down, but it kind of comes across that way. But then when I put it on there, it looks more green probably on the canvas because the background is this warm pink. Oops. Had some dark on my brush. It's just so relaxing to paint these. Okay, we need to get even lighter. So let's put white, a little red. It's definitely on the warm side though as it goes down. It's a very tricky color. That can be, no, that might be okay. I don't know. You put it on the canvas and it always looks a little different than what you want it to look like. But let's try it. It's still a little too... That's better. The coloring needs to look right as it goes down. It just does. Oh, I missed those spaces with that color. I don't know if are they openings? They are openings. I wasn't sure if they're going to be the white parts of the clouds, which we'll do next. Can you tell I'm excited? Oops. I'm excited for figuring out how this is going to go. Seeing it come together, you know, is really fun. But you can really see like the contrast just like happens when you put this blue up against that color, and that blue on the pink background is just like, whoa. Okay, getting lighter. We need to get even lighter. The bottom of this is almost white, so like up against the shapes down below. Oh, I just put white right in the color. I guess I could do that. Not thinking about what I'm supposed to be doing here. Mix that around real good. And again, it's like a neutral color. So I'm adding in the red, maybe more of the yellow. I think we want to go for yeah. I think that's the next value range we want to work on. So down in here, we're gonna do that. Yeah, because it's a little warmer. Ooh, I like that. I like that. You guys see this okay? Yeah. I'm not sure if I was getting below the table line or not. Oops. Don't rub too hard with your fingers. It will rub the paint all the way off. do paint with my fingers sometimes with acrylic because it blends pretty well when you do that. At least I've found. And you can't paint with your fingers in oil because it would not be good for you. But in acrylic, you can. It's probably not great for you either. Stuff that shouldn't be on your skin, but of paints to use to mix with your fingers, acrylic's pretty forgiving. Now, as the acrylic dries, it actually dries a little bit lighter, or sorry, darker. It dries darker, and especially when you have a color underneath the canvas that is warmer and different hue than the one you're putting on top, it really can change the color as it sits there longer. I'm noticing like I'm seeing the pink showing through in some of these spots, and it's not making me happy. And we got it over here. Like I want the pink to show where the pink should show, but not where the pink shouldn't show, you know? Profound. Oops, got a little bit of a chunk of white in that one. Okay, let's see. Not too bad. I'm going straight in again with the white into that blue. We're going to keep getting lighter as we go down. What is this? Oh, I see it. Okay. We don't want to be white yet. Honestly, we don't really get white as we go down. We get more yellowy. But the white needs to be saved for some of the highlights on these shapes up above. Has anyone watched Hamilton? Because I have like a new song from it stuck in my head every day. So I'm like singing this one line over and over and over again in my head. I'm not going to sing it for you because I'm not a singer. Sorry. I feel like it gets harder as I go down, because I have to really pay attention to the value shift. It's tricky. Let's see how that edge over there is doing. Oh, pretty good. I brought it pretty far down. All right. This is where it really needs to get lighter and warmer. So we're going to get a little bit more red out here. Yeah, and like really, if I'm looking at the value of this paint picture I'm looking at, it's pretty dark except for the white that I'll put in on top. Yeah, this doesn't even get blue anymore. I mean, look at the change. I went from this to this. And it's still subtle enough. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't. It's still a very subtle transition. I'm going to shift this towards me just a touch so you can see the side a little more there. But I need to reach these spots a little better. It's shifting fast though. I need to like really get this going down here. That bright color, a lighter color. I'm gonna have to be a little bit more liberal with the colors there. Oh, yeah, that's the, you see that? That's what it should be down in here. But I want it to blend well with the blues. So starting on that edge. I want that color to blend with what's above it pretty well. It's very tricky. It's like we're working with the gray, the blue-gray family instead of just blue. And so as we come down, it actually gets more gray. Okay, good. This side I'm staying on top of, which is nice. But let's go whiter and warmer. Ooh. Oh. It's like I accidentally got a little yellow in it, but I think it's okay. A little bit of water is always good. Yeah, actually, that's what we want. And I'll show this to you right side up, or from the front a little bit more once I get this color in here. little more red. It almost like looks pink when it gets down to this layer, which I think I've sort of able to accomplish with this red in this blue white color. And I'll give you a peek of this in a moment. So I know it's kind of off screen what I'm doing here. Oh, got a little bit of a dark patch in my coloring there. Now, it's hard to tell. Oh, I guess this section technically is going to be pretty white. Let me put this color down first as kind of a transition. Oh, the side. Okay, so let me give you a little peek. Voila! So it transitioned down to that sort of gray color. But in this very small, I don't know if I can move you closer. Let's be able to see this. Oh, that didn't really help. That made it worse. But down in here, right here, this section is going to be pretty yellow and white. So I feel like doing that part now. I guess it kind of transitions into what will be the color of the white stuff up above. So I'm rinsing off my brush really well. I just use the same brush the whole way down. How are we doing on time? 12:19. I might switch to a little bit smaller flat brush for this. Not too much smaller because I don't want to change my brush strokes too much. Okay, got the white paint going on. We don't have yellow. What kind of yellow? It's probably this yellow. No, wrong yellow. This yellow. It's hard to tell the difference unless you have yellows to compare to, right? So this is a warm yellow. And the warm yellow mixed with white, mixed with some of the colors. I'm just mixing it in the stash that I had here, so it kind of picks up some of that coloring. And I'll do this real fast, and then I'll come up to the top so you can see more of what I'm going to be putting in here. But I'm just putting in, because there's like edges of like clouds and things in here. Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, I just love the contrast that you can get. Like, this is why I'm loving this series, because it's making me realize again and refresh my memory on why I like to paint. And I'll show you this in a second. I know you can't see this. But like, this just gives me so much joy. I can't tell you. It's just so beautiful. The glow, the realistic glow that you can get with just paint colors. And this color is kind of peeking around the edge. Let's not do anything too crazy yet. Hold on. This in here. It's going to get a lot thicker. Yeah, I mean, this is just so much fun. I'm in one of those moods. It's one of those days where I could probably just like paint for hours. I feel like I haven't felt that way in a long time, and having a baby like really makes you realize the things you, that sounds bad, the things you really love. No, we love the baby, of course, but it makes you, I don't know, I've had more time to paint and more of a want to paint than I have in a long time. And I'm like, that's weird. And I have less time. Why do I all of a sudden want to paint more versus when I had more time and I didn't want to paint? Maybe it gives you more purpose in what you do when you have a little human to take care of. I don't know. I'm not saying that if you don't have a baby, you don't have purpose. Just an observation for myself these days. Okay, I will give you a little peek at this section down here. And I am, hold on, sorry. I am trying to keep it pretty painterly still. But there's that. It looks like the sun is sort of setting back in there. And that color isn't as bright over in here, but it's definitely peeking through. So I want to just hint it a little bit. Then I'm going to bring that color up slowly. Let's see. I gotta face it at myself again to see how this is looking here. And again, that yellow, because I've got darks underneath, I need to kind of put a few layers just to kind of increase that. Oh, the other thing I was noticing is that it's still going to be yellowy though. There's a little bit of a warmer peachy kind of color around things in here. And that'll help with that sort of sun setting or rising type of a look. Yeah, that helps a lot. And that color I'm going to repeat in a few spots. Okay. Pretty happy with what this looks like right now. And we're gonna continue going up here. So now into these areas, it's gonna be that same or similar white yellow kind of a color. More white, more yellow probably than the other sections. And actually it's a lot more white than yellow. Kind of this color. And we're just going to put that in here. Wherever we see that color. And it's going to move. It gets less and less as it goes up. So I'll speed up as I go towards the top of this canvas here. But I'm just sort of putting in glowy, fluffy texture. I'm looking back and forth at my subject pretty religiously to capture little fluffies, yes, they're clouds. I try not to say clouds, but I think you know that they're clouds. Because it's a part of my series, I want to kind of keep a little bit of mystery in what's happening, what I'm creating, so that you can get excited. Okay. And that's going to transition. Oh, and that color just is kind of doesn't sit on top of the paint very well. That's underneath it. So I can see like my layers, which is a little irritating. Okay, but we're going to be moving up here real quick along the edge of some of this stuff. Like this has sort of a little fluffy things on it and in it. as it goes around the side here. Noticing it, because again, as things dry in acrylic, they dry a little bit darker. So I'm noticing down here, it looks a little darker than I want it to be, but I'll do that later. We'll come back. Ooh, this will be pretty. So this little section has like a, I have to like look at what these shapes are, where I drew that information from. If not, I just make it up. This is like up in here. There's just really just little whispers of that color higher up. There's probably going to be a transition color in here that between the bright and the more shadowy color that I'll probably have to put in spots. It's hard to know where things are and what I put where, but you know, we're just kind of improvising. Just using the side of the brush, putting in some of that coloring. As we come in here, we're going to get kind of a transition. Just little peaks of the light showing in there. Okay. Whew. Yeah. Might not look like much, but it's there. And this is a little bit brighter. And as it goes up this way, get a little bit thicker. Like I said, there's like less of it up in here. I guess they're bigger chunks. It kind of transitions over this way. And we get a little bit of a glow right in there. I'm loving it. I just get some little pieces on the top. The top edge doesn't make sense on some of these, but again, that's what I'm seeing. So That's how you can paint realistically, is you're painting what you see, not what you think you see or what you think you should see. It's about looking at something and being like, oh, that's there. I guess I'm putting that there. Sometimes you can decide, oh, like that's going to be distracting for the piece or something. But a lot of times it's just our left brains taking over and being like, this is how it should look. And it's like, nope, that looks really fakey. And your left brain's like, no, but it's logical. No, it's the way it's supposed to look. But that's just not fun. The trick with drawing or painting realistically or trying to capture some whatever realistic look is you have to fight that side of the brain. You have to literally just be like numb to everything you're looking at and just be like, I'm just drawing shapes and values and colors. I'm not drawing anything specific. I'm just drawing shapes, values, and colors. Like you're trying to tell yourself that. And before you know it, you've painted something realistic. So I'm, something like this is fairly easy because I'm just like, oh, that's a shape. That's a shape. Just kind of where do the shapes connect? And not the whole, I'm not thinking the whole time, oh, does it look like a cloud? Does it look like a cloud? It just will look like a cloud if I paint what I'm seeing. But that white edge now really pops from blue background, gray background. All of that is just really popping, which is awesome. Paint's getting a little tacky. Gotta go in and make it a little brighter. Because again, acrylic dries darker, so this is supposed to be a light section. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some transition color that'll happen eventually here, but I might have to go here so I can save my husband from the baby. Unless he's sleeping really good. I'm just on a roll. It's always hard to stop. There's a little bit of some of that on this edge here. And this little dude has a little bit on the top of him. Kind of like that. Very easy. Yeah, oh, actually, I'm really close because a lot of this stuff here doesn't have that quite the same way. So this, like I said, comes up in here. Oh, is it the right? Yeah, I think it just comes over. It's a little bit thicker. And this, as it comes up, gets kind of fluffy. And looks like it attaches somewhat to this. So we're going to just put a little bit of that suggestion in there. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, this is a bigger spot of that. And that kind of transitions up this way. Into this guy. I'm really liking where this one's going. There's going to definitely have to be a transition value because I'm seeing like almost an orangey color up in here. So let's first do this. This has a very distinct edge to it. I feel like my eyes are like wigging out. Can't see this over here. Again, I'm blaming the lights. Lights dry my paint too fast and they make my eyes freak out. Yeah, sure. I'll definitely be doing more layers of this color on top because it's, as I go around, I see like spots that it's like, oh, that should be a lot brighter than it is, but it's because acrylic dries so dark. All right, then it's really just this section up in here has kind of some fluffiness to it. This up in here along this inside edge here has some, and then this spot, this is a big dark thing here. I think it's right above that. I think it's like right in here. Yeah. And then this spot for sure. I think it transitions into here as well. It's a little, all of it's a little softer, so I'm kind of blending a little more with my finger. And I think I'm just going to put it in here. It's another little section. It's a little bit brighter. Okay. That's probably about good. Again, these will need some brighter sections, thicker parts, because it's just a little bit on the light side. Okay, so that's that for now. I'll give you a full painting look here. So you can kind of see what that looks like so far. It's always weird to look at it on a camera, through a camera. Like this looks really distinct and dark. I think it's going to need to be lighter. Some of these are probably going to need to be lighter because now that the white's up against them, they're pretty contrasty. But it's on the right track. I'm liking it a lot. It's going to need just some transition colors. This blue is looking a little bit too bright as it comes down here. Like this should all be a little bit more peachy almost, or on the verge of peachy greenish. And I kind of lost some of that with that blue. But it's close. So yeah, really happy with that so far. Woohoo! It's definitely going to need, like even looking at it on the camera here, what you're seeing, the white is so bright that it looks fakey from a distance. And so there's going to need to be transitions between the white, the lighter stuff, and the gray for it to really blend well. But I'm happy with that progress. So I will stop there and look at my finger from blending. But thanks for watching, guys, and we will resume next week. Probably not on this painting because I'll probably finish it on my own and maybe have another one that I'll be working on next Friday. So don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and we will see you next time. Bye.